1 undefeated fighters, and we're talking about 2 world championship unification bouts. Listen, one of those is for 3 of the belts. The other is for all 4 of those belts. In fact, in total, I'm talking about 7 world championship matches, 13 belts at stake. All of the top 6 154-pound fighters, you're going to see in action over the next 7 weeks. So, Stephen, here, as we get right into this, let's start with March 26th. Showtime Championship Boxing coming to Minneapolis. It's the U.S. debut of Tszyu, his father, Costa Tszyu. And Costa Tszyu has had so many memorable fights on Showtime Championship Boxing. Talk to me about that card.
Look, it's an exciting card. I mean, we've been watching Tszyu for quite a while. We were witness to his father's, a lot of his father's achievements on Showtime. A lot of his most significant fights were on Showtime. So we had an eye on him, not just because of his talent, but because of the history. And I think this is a really interesting card on March 26th. You've got the U.S. debut of Tszyu. And again, if we look through the card, stepping back for a moment, I think we're trying to do 2 things. Number one, evenly matched fights between top fighters. It's not just a name against somebody you've never heard of. Evenly matched fights, 50-50 fights as much as possible. And secondly, quality top to bottom on the card. So March 26th, Tszyu, up and comer, talked about, very promising. Gausha is, he's got the credentials, he's got the experience. I don't know who wins that fight. It is a 50-50 fight at the top level. Michel Rivera, one of the most exciting young fighters in the sport, taking on Joseph Adorno. And what boxing fans love, among other things, is discovering the next guy, like the next guy. So, with some of our opening fights, that's exactly what we've tried to do. Elvis Rodriguez, 140-pounder, 12 wins, 11 by knockout, really interesting fighter, taking on a very good veteran test for him in Juan Jose Velasco. So that, to me, is, sort of epitome of the card. Evenly matched, intriguing fights, meaningful fights, top to bottom.
And for people who see Michel Rivera.
All right, welcome. It has happened, ladies and gentlemen, especially for the Australian viewers of the channel and the Australian Tszyu fans. He has touched down in the United States, something that it's kind of crept up on us. We've been covering Tszyu for quite some time, multiple fights. Me personally, I picked up around the Jeff Horn fight or so. However, I have been keeping an eye on him. And now on YouTube, we have probably likely become one of the, if not #1 vlogger channel on YouTube for, and we're talking about vloggers, not people who do interviews, on YouTube covering Tszyu. And here, this week, we have the pleasure to cover Tszyu in Eastern Standard. Wait a minute. Actually, wait. Where's this fight taking place? Hold on. Oh, it's taking place in Minneapolis. Yeah, Minnesota.
Minneapolis.
So, yeah, I had the chance to be able to cover Tszyu in a time zone when I don't have to get up and start watching a fight 4 o'clock in the morning. So, as Stephen Espinoza, the president, or, to keep it simple, he runs Showtime Boxing, Showtime Sports, makes the budget, decides what fights are on pay-per-view, what fights that the network is going to pick up, and they've been having their eye on Tszyu for quite some time. And if you haven't noticed, Tszyu is in a sort of unofficial 154-pound tournament to be undisputed champion of the world at 154 pounds. So you can expect that if Tszyu wins, that he has a multi-fight deal with PBC. And with the way Stephen Espinoza has been talking, I'm guessing that he has a multi-fight deal with Showtime. So where do we start? First, for the particulars for the fans who don't know, Tszyu was 20-0 with 15 KOs. He is being called the Soul Taker, even though me and my colleague on the line, we're going to speak to very soon, has issues with that alias. 27 years old. Last fight against Takashi Inoue went the distance. Predicted he was going to go the distance. Very tough Japanese fighter. However, I wanted to see Tszyu get the rounds. Stevie Spark, late replacement, Dennis Hogan, Bowen Morgan, and then when I came in, Jeff Horn. And the fights before that are available on social media and YouTube if you want to go check him out. Gausha, I've had the opportunity to interview and talk to him in person. when he fought Errol Lara. I'm going to go ahead and say it, no disrespect to the fighters, but they stunk the joint out. This was in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. What year was this? I was there ringside, and us and other media, we knew we wasn't supposed to really talk about it, but fans were getting up and walking out, like front row fans, pissed off. This was 2017. That was a long time ago. That's when he really stepped on the scene on the big stage and fought Errol Lara for that WBA and IBO 154-pound world title. And then he had a split decision draw with Austin Trout. I don't remember I do remember I did cover that fight, but not exactly sure how it went. Clear loss to Erickson Lubin, who's going to be fighting the very next week against a Sebastian Fedor, also in the 154-pound tournament. They're fighting to be the mandatory for the WBC side of the 154-pound titles. That, and I know I'm giving you a lot of information here, that Jermell Charlo and Bron Castano are going to be fighting for in California. That date is June the 18th. So you got Tszyu, who we're doing this video about, who's the WBO man, fighting Terrell Gausha. And then you have Erickson Lubin, April the 9th, taking on Sebastian Fedor to be the WBC mandatory. The IBF mandatory, Bakhram Murtazaliev, is fighting on the Charlo Castano 2 undercard opponent to be announced. Now, he's been taking so much step-aside money, and he's promoted by Main Event, by the way, led by Kathy Duva. For hardcore boxing fans, you kind of understand why he's taking the step-aside money. They're looking for the big payday. But put it this way, there's a lot of shit going on in the 154-pound division, and we're going to keep this, isolated and talk about what's going on with Tszyu and Terrell Gausha. So first, Big J, what do you think about the fight?
Well, as I said before, it's not the fight that Tszyu should be taking. However, Terrell Gausha's resume is, a lot better than pretty much any of the opponents Tszyu has currently fought in regards to 154. On paper, Terrell Gausha would probably easily have the best resume of any of his opponents, but he's fought, how many, 3 ex-champions or current champions or what?
Yes,
Larry Laura was a champion.
2 ex-champions and a contender in Erickson Lubin.
Yeah, okay, so that's more impressive than anyone that Tszyu's currently fought. But having said that, Terrell Gausha lost all those fights. Erickson Lubin schooled him. Austin Trout was way past his prime when he fought, and Erickson Lubin dealt with him pretty easily, yeah? So
yeah, both him and Lara.
Yes, he's been in the ring with all those fighters, but he lost pretty easily. So he didn't get a win with any of them. So as I said, I'm still not, he should be fighting Bakhram Murtazaliev or, even a Jack Couquet or Jason Rosario, Joe Rock Williams, anyone by this guy. When did the WBA turn him into number 11? About a week or two ago? Something like that?
They had to make it mean, yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, so, Tszyu needs to win this fight and win it by knockout, and that's what I want to happen. But I see, and this is going to piss a few people off, I see a controversial a split decision win going the way of Gausha. That's the way I see this happening.
Now tell fans your theory.
All right, here's my theory. Charlo Castano 1 went to a draw, even though Castano got the narrow win. Charlo Castano 2, in my personal belief, I think Charlo will win, which will push it to a third fight. That means they've got to keep Tszyu busy and put him in a rematch with Gausha, right? Well, that's all happening because there's also Murtazaliev and all that also happening in round 2. So there's my theory. I feel that Charlo will beat Castano and push that to a trilogy, right? And then Gausha will get us.
There's going to be some foolishness with the cards, you're saying. Therefore, Tszyu is sidelined or backtracked and may have to fight Gausha again.
Yeah, to keep him busy, to keep him in line. Yeah, to keep him active, to keep him in line with waiting for Castano, because he'll never get Charlo. But all these people that say, "Oh, Charlo's ducking him," oh fucking shit. Charlo ain't ducking nothing. He doesn't have to fight Tszyu. He's got Murtazaliev and the winner of Erickson Lubin, Sebastian Fendora, and what's the other bloke? Michael Soro. What's the other bloke? Israel Madrid. What's his name?
Israel Madrimov. The fight was ordered by the WBA to fight Michelle Soro again. There was some controversy with that fight. So yeah, that's what we've been trying to figure out, and we've been talking about it pretty consistently. Like, who's first in line? First in line is
Murtazaliev.
But will Lubin Fendora be next, or will it be Tszyu as far as mandatories?
Well, I mean, I think they've screwed the WBC and mucked around Lubin because he was already promised.
He was, something funky.
Mandatory when he won his last fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they've shafted him a little. I mean, Bakram Murtazaliev has just taken step-aside money, and he must be living the dream. He's getting paid to do fuck all, so good on him.
Yeah.
So he must be living the dream. Poor old Tim, who we want to win, we want to have Gausha, win it by knockout. He really isn't done. His case is weak as piss to even get Castano, because his resume, he shouldn't be the number one contender considering he hasn't beaten any of those guys.
Yeah, nepotism. Yeah. I feel like this. Like, basically, he should have been ordered to fight Kurbanov in a final eliminator.
Exactly.
Like, he just jumped the line, and we've seen it happen. We've been covering his fights, especially on the channel, since Jeff Horn. We've seen it happen. Like, he jumped the line.
He did. It's not Tim's fault, and we're not. That's not Tim's fault. The WBO does the rankings. Tim has nothing to do with it. But having said that, his competition has not been up to standard to what it should be, and it's still not. I mean, fighting Terrell Gausha gains him absolutely fuck all. But he's got everything to lose and nothing to gain.
But you got to look at it from a promoter standpoint. No limit in PBC. And remember, this wasn't supposed to be his own event. And I feel that they gave him this to also, for him to not force his mandatory. You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, listen, let us make Charlo Castaño 2. And, even though it's getting pushed back, we'll give you that date, to appease him pretty much. And, we'll build you up. Like, that's what I think is going on. Like, they're doing this to keep him happy, because this is kind of a little unheard of, in this era of broadcast boxing, for Tszyu to just come over here to the States and get on Showtime boxing. That's just below pay-per-view. And
a relative unknown, unproven fighter. So
yeah, he's relatively unknown here in the States, because I tell you that, I know, the fans that have been up watching Tszyu fights and trying hard and finding it extremely difficult to define a way to watch a Tszyu fight here in the States. It's been very, very difficult. And you got to be up, at least 5-6 o'clock in the morning just to make sure, you're following at least the co-main event. So now you're going to see a lot of fans, and I'm going to call them out on it. All of a sudden, everybody's going to act like they know who Tszyu is. That's what's going to happen. But in reality, no, he ain't have no reach over here.
No, he doesn't.
So for him to come over here and get what he's getting, like, this is a big deal. And I can understand from the network standpoint and from, No Limit, and now that he's aligned with PBC, Al Heyman being involved in some type of way, they're probably like, listen, we got a fighter for you. He's not really known as being a knockout guy. He's not, he should be a nice test for Tszyu to display his skills. Terrell Gausha, that's the type of fighter Terrell Gausha is. You put a guy in there like, Tszyu in there with him, and like, all right, Tszyu, show me what you got, because frankly, I don't really view Terrell Gausha as, put it this way, I viewed, and I got to make sure I say this correct, I viewed Takashi Inoue more of a threat than Terrell Gausha. Not saying Inoue is a better fighter, but I'm saying overall threat from, punch, pressure, even though he didn't have no defense, with that chance to be able to really, really crack Tszyu with something and make him think. I really don't see that from Terrell Gausha.
I mean, Takashi Inoue just stood there all night and let Tszyu beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, I was very disappointed with his performance.
Very, very, very disappointed. Very disappointed. I mean, he looked like a friggin'...
Because the way he went at Jaime Munguia, I was like, yo, if he goes that, like, after Tszyu like that, Tszyu is going to get the win. but it's going to be a hard night for him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and I think, I mean, even when Tim, if you watch those last 3 rounds again, 10, 11, 12, Inoue starts smacking Tim. Tim doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So Tim is still yet to prove, what's his chin like, and what's he like when someone actually hits him back?
Yeah, we need this. And you know, the guys you mentioned, you know me, outside of Jack Couquet, you know, I want to put it this way. I don't think he's going to get Charlo, next. Charlo Castaño winner next.
No.
So the next fight, you know, we want to see him fight somebody of some type of note that's somewhat of a threat. Now, you know, boxing fans, we already know that they want to make sure they babysit him, don't give him something too tough because they don't want to blow his chance, you know, at getting a shot at Undisputed. You know, but, you know, for his next fight, if he beats Gausha, and you think that there could possibly be some shenanigans, but if he beats Gausha, you know, I don't see why not. See, Murtazaliev, him taking a step aside money, I don't think that he would even want to fight Tszyu. I think that both of them are going to try to get their shot at Undisputed. So I don't even see that happening.
Well, there's plenty of other guys. There's J-Rod Williams, there's Jason Rosario, there's Tony Harrison. There's a shitload of blokes he could fight. So,
and Tony Harrison is back soon, too. I forgot exactly which card. I have it here on the... Tony Harrison is back the next week against Sergio Garcia on the Lubin Fendora card. So that makes sense. Tszyu gets past Gausha. And, you know, I think it's safe to say that Tszyu's not going to get Charlo Castaño winner next because Murtazaliev is going to have to get his shot. And he should fight the winner of Tony Harrison versus Sergio Garcia. And that may be a hint right there why Tony Harrison is scheduled it's not the next week, but 2 weeks later. That may be a hint why Tony Harrison is scheduled against Sergio Garcia. Because both of those fights, I mean, whoever wins between Harrison and Garcia, I like for Tszyu next. I think that's the way to go. And then, you know, go after the championship because Tony Harrison is a former world champion. And he's a very
I agree. I think that's the way to go. That's if there's no, remember, this is only a theory. I base this on the fact that Australians have been screwed in the US more than once. It's Jeff Fennick, Andrew Maloney. So it's just a theory. I've got to base it on just a gut feeling. But if he does win, that Sergio Garcia, Tony Harrison fight is legit as all. It'd be a great fight. And that will get him ready for the champ. So I think that would be great if he wins. I want
if they would do that fight here, or would they to try to build Tszyu's name for probably, you know, like a pay-per-view platform, or would they try to take it over to Australia? Me personally, I think just to avoid bullshit, I think they should do it here.
Yeah, do it there. Because they do it on pay-per-view in Australia anyway. Main event would charge
exactly.
$60
I think that if he does fight Tony Harrison, it should be here. Tony Harrison is Sergio Garcia winner.
Who do you think will get up? I reckon Garcia will get him. What do you reckon?
Right now, Sergio Garcia, he's pretty good. You know, a part of me wants to pick Sergio Garcia to beat Tony Harrison.
Well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's a really good thing. That's if this controversial split decision win doesn't happen. And I hope, and I'll go on record, and this will, so all the Tszyu haters can bloody go jump on a lake. I hope Tszyu wins by knockout. Fucking destroys him. I hope that's what happens. But I've got a gut feeling that something awry is going to happen. So
yeah, so let me.
So you've got that on the record. I want Tszyu to win by knockout.
All right, so let me tell you guys what's going to be happening on the fight week schedule. Thursday, the press conference is going to be streaming on the Showtime Sports YouTube page, or you know we're going to be streaming it here on the channel and talking about the fight in the card during the press conference and after. That is Thursday, March the 24th, 1 p.m. Eastern. Excuse me, 2 p.m. Eastern. Friday, the 25th, at also 2 p.m. Eastern, is going to be the weigh-in. We're going to be streaming the weigh-in. And then the event starts at 9 p.m. Eastern here in the States. I have the main event page pulled up right here for you. Let me tell you exactly what's going on over there. 8 days, 13 hours, 28 minutes, $59.95 on pay-per-view. Sheesh. So wait a minute. What time is this pay-per-view going to be starting over there? It's going to be on right now, right?
Yeah, it'll be about this time. It'll be on the main event page. It'll be what, 12 p.m., 1 p.m., something like that? So
Yeah,
what?
because
Minnesota
normally
Central.
the Showtime cards start at 9 p.m. and right now it's 10:30.
Yeah, okay. So that'll be
So yeah,
about
it's a Sunday.
12
It's a
o'clock. 12
Sunday
o'clock
morning,
kickoff.
Sunday afternoon card for you guys. All right, yeah. So that works perfectly if Tszyu fights over here in the States.
Oh yeah, because the pay-per-views that happen on a Saturday night are always on a Sunday afternoon in Australia. That's why so many Australians can watch them because we're not doing anything.
Yeah,
Well, you know,
yeah.
So yeah. So what time? That's Central Time, isn't it? Because Minnesota's
Yeah,
are they
Central
Central Time or are they Eastern Time?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's Central.
Oh, it's Central
1
Time.
p.m.
So
Central,
what
2
time is
p.m.
it?
Eastern. Yeah.
So what? Okay, 2 p.m. Oh, you're right. So yeah. Oh, that kicks off what 12 o'clock our time. Yeah, that'd be perfect timing for Australian fans. That's just a normal Sunday pay-per-view like everything else.
Yeah. So once again, the undercard. Michelle Rivera versus Joseph Adorno. Michelle Rivera is a very, very good fighter, up and coming 135-pound fringe contender. He was slated to fight Adrian Broner at one point in time, but Adrian Broner pulled out. Very smart by Adrian Broner to pull out. Elvis Rodriguez versus Juan Jose Velasco. And then they got Joey Spencer, but he's on the untelevised portion, it seems. So the three main fights are going to be Elvis Rodriguez versus Juan Jose Velasco, and Michelle Rivera versus Joseph Adorno. But the star of the show is going to be Tszyu versus Terrell Gausha. And remember, this card was supposed to be the Charlo versus Castano 2 card with Tszyu Gausha as the co-feature. So it's supposed to be an even more stacked card than, it already is now. Closing thoughts?
Well, as I said, I hope Tszyu wins by knockout. 2 reasons. A, that way it'll shoot my silly little theory to shit. B, Gausha's never been stopped nor knocked down. C, it'll look good for Tszyu, and hopefully it'll lead to a fight with the Garcia Harrison winner. But having said that, as I said, I've got a gut feeling that something's going to go. There's going to be a little bit of a controversy going on here. Just a gut feeling. So we'll see what happens. But I hope he wins by knockout.
Yeah, and I haven't seen anyone really mentioning, the fight just got announced. Tszyu Gausha winner, if it's Tszyu possibly fighting to Tony Harrison, Sergio Garcia winner.
Yeah, well, everything I've seen on the internet, most people are going Tim by points, which is a fair.
That's what I think. I think
call.
this was going to happen, and I would be highly impressed if Tszyu stops Terrell Gausha. Especially doing that on American soil, that's going to shoot him up.
Well, that's the way I hope it goes.
And you're also going to be hearing, let me just get this out of the way now, here in the States, even though Tim doesn't like it, you're going to be hearing a lot about his father next week. Let's just, that's what's going to be going on.
God, we don't have to go through all this again, do we?
There's going to be a whole sit down and everything. They're going to be playing the old clips because his father used to fight on Showtime.
Oh, yeah, okay, right.
So yeah, that's, expect a lot of that next week. So just giving you guys a fair warning. All right. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at T Street Controversy and Big J at Old Mate Big J. Check out our website, FightView360.com. Our rankings are updated monthly in accordance to the sanctioning bodies, and it is active again and getting more active starting next week, actually. So thanks for watching. Take your time out, like the video, really helps us out. Get up in the YouTube algorithm and gets our videos further out in reach to Aussies and wherever you want to watch your boxing. Please subscribe, take your time out, like the video. Thanks for watching.